Have you ever met someone who seems to carry a calm, steady kind of power? They don't chase attention, they don't seek approval, and yet life moves in harmony with them. Opportunities open up. People are drawn to them, not because they push, but because of who they are. Their energy doesn't scatter. They don't live in reaction. They respond from clarity and stillness. Even in chaos, they stay centered, as if nothing in the world could shake them. And that's the truth. Nothing does. They don't live in fear, not because they've never faced difficulty, but because they've realized something most never do. Power isn't out there. It never was. There is nothing out there that can truly hurt them, because they've seen that the outside world is just a mirror of their inner state. Every fear, every hope, every event, it all reflects what they're holding within. And once they saw that clearly, they stopped handing their energy to things they couldn't control. They stopped trying to manage how they're perceived. They stopped reacting to the world just to protect a fragile image. They stopped living as the battery, the one who gives and gives, hoping the world will finally give something back. Instead, they turned inward and found the source. Neville Goddard has said, "Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live." But how do you do that? How do you stop being the battery and start living as the source? To begin, you must first understand what it means to be a battery, and what consequences this hidden pattern has created in your life. So let's begin. To live as a battery means to carry a personality that constantly looks outside for power. It is a way of being shaped by fear, built on reaction, and kept alive by the illusion that others hold the key to your value. This personality is born early, from family, school, society, from the constant pressure to meet expectations. Children are often taught, if others are pleased with you, you are doing well. So over time, the child shapes a false self, one that survives by adjusting, reacting, and performing. That child becomes an adult who no longer knows how to just be. Instead, they live by constantly managing the world's perception. They try to be useful, helpful, likable, successful, not always to serve others, but to maintain control over how they are seen. The battery doesn't just want to make people happy, it wants to be seen as the source, strong, capable, valuable, even though deep down it doesn't feel that way. It is always in low energy, always trying to hide that weakness by reacting to anything that might expose it. It reacts to silence. It reacts to disapproval. It reacts to praise. Even that becomes a signal to do more, to hold onto the image it wants others to believe. But here's the thing. Reacting is not power. It's survival. And the world sees it clearly. The world knows when someone is living as a battery. It knows this type will always respond, always give, always try harder. So it pushes, pulls, criticizes, praises, and the battery reacts. The world doesn't need to take the energy by force. The battery gives it away, afraid of what would happen if it stopped. This is the hidden trap. The battery thinks that without this role, without the approval of others, it will lose everything. It fears that without reaction, it will disappear. So it keeps the false identity alive, not because it works, but because it's afraid of letting go. So how can we come out of the battery cycle? How can we stop living in reaction, in exhaustion, constantly giving away our power, and instead live a life that becomes a currency of energy that never runs out? The answer begins with this truth. There is no real power out there, not in other people's opinions, not in outcomes, not in praise or rejection. Whatever power you think the world holds over you, it only exists because you gave it power in your own awareness. That's the secret no one tells you. Every image of strength or importance you've ever chased was first created inside your own mind. You imagined it. You assigned it meaning. And then you forgot that you were the one who gave it life. You thought it lived in the world, but it never did. It lived in you. It came from you, not to you. That's why the world seems to control you, because you are reacting to your own reflection, believing it's something separate. But the world is not the source. It is the mirror, a reflection of what you've accepted as real. So the only way out of the battery cycle is not to fix the world, but to wake up from the illusion that it ever held the power in the first place. The real you is not the battery. You are not the one who reacts, pleases, performs, and shrinks. You are the awareness, the consciousness that gives birth to experience, the source that shapes everything through belief, focus, and identity. And when you truly realize that no image, no reaction, no condition has power on its own, you begin to return to your true place. You stop reacting, you stop defending, you stop chasing, fixing, and proving. And something begins to shift. Your energy no longer drains, it begins to rise. Your presence no longer flickers, it becomes steady. Your life is no longer shaped by fear, but by creation. Not because you forced anything, but because you stopped feeding what was never you. The energy that always felt so far away was never outside of you. It was within you, waiting for you to come back home. The path out of the battery cycle is not about doing more. It's about remembering who you are and reclaiming your attention from everything that never deserved it. Here are the foundational practices to make that shift. 1. Reclaim your awareness. Stop feeding the mirror. Your energy always flows where your attention goes. So the first step is to notice, where is your awareness going all day long? Are you constantly watching for others' approval? Reacting to what people might think of you? Trying to fix how you're perceived? Every time you do that, you're charging the world, not yourself. Throughout your day, gently ask yourself, what am I giving my awareness to right now? Am I centered or chasing? The moment you notice, you've already begun the return. Just breathe and bring your attention back to yourself. 2. Drop the false self. You don't need to perform. The battery survives by playing a role, always trying to be the right version of you, to please the outside world. But here's a truth you must let sink in. You don't need to be anything else to be whole. You were never meant to act your way into worth. You were meant to live from it. When you feel the urge to impress, explain, or prove, pause. Close your eyes. Feel the need rising, and do nothing. Let the false self melt. Let the silence hold you. You're not the role. You are the stillness underneath it. 3. Use Neville Goddard's principle. Neville taught one of the most powerful principles. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This means, instead of looking outside for proof, begin to feel the inner state of being whole, loved, and powerful, right now. You don't need to wait. You don't need permission. You create from inner identity, not outer evidence. Each morning, close your eyes and ask, what is the feeling of already being complete? Then sit with that. Imagine walking through your day not needing anything, not applause, not approval, not validation. Feel it. Embody it. Because once you feel it, the mirror will reflect it. 4. Release reaction. Replace it with observation. Reaction is the battery's trap. It pulls you out of yourself and into the illusion. But when you learn to observe instead of react, you break the cycle. Next time something triggers you, a comment, a judgment, a silence, don't respond. Just notice it. Breathe deeply. and ask, who is aware of this thought or feeling right now? This simple shift brings you back to awareness and away from the automatic identity that drains you. 5. Build real energy through stillness. True energy doesn't come from doing more. It comes from being aligned. Spend 5 to 10 minutes a day in silence. No goals, no affirmations, no fixing. Just sit. Feel yourself existing. You'll begin to notice something strange and powerful. There is an energy that grows the more you stop trying. And that energy is you, no longer as the battery, but as the source. You don't need to become powerful. You only need to stop identifying with the part of you that believes power is outside of who you truly are. When you stop feeding what you're not, you begin to feel who you truly are. And from that place, energy becomes natural, deep, and unstoppable.